Chaos is the herald of evil. Earlier this week, I finished The Trials of Empire by Richard Swan, the third book in the Empire of the Wolf trilogy. And guess what? This is another banger, guys. This is just another banger. And at this point, if I haven't convinced you to read the Empire of the Wolf trilogy, then I'm failing as a reviewer of these books. This is just one of my new favorite trilogies, and this is just going to be a series that is for my dark fantasy and high fantasy friends. You know, if you're someone who is a fan of First Law by Joe Abercrombie, or A Song of Ice and Fire by George R. R. Martin, or Malazan by Steven Erikson, then this will absolutely positively be for you. If you are craving some dark fantasy with horror elements, this is absolutely going to be for you. If you like very well written fantasy, the prose is really good, the characters are really good, the world building is really good, the plot is well structured, and the pacing is excellent, this is going to be for you. I really don't know what else to say. Like, this book specifically delivers on everything that you could have hoped for with the Justice of Kings and the Tyranny of Faith. This is a great conclusion to the overarching story that has begun with the trials, or the Justice of Kings. The character arcs are well delivered. I felt like where these characters ended up made a lot of sense. The story is very well told and very well wrapped up, with enough left over for you to know that there's still a lot going on in this world. It's a living, breathing world. It's something that this author is going to return to. You can feel it when you get to the conclusion, and that's really wonderful to see, to know that the author is going to continue in this world, but maybe not with these characters. And there's actually, you know, consequences to the actions that these characters take, so it feels very, very real. There's some long-term consequences that will eventually occur, and I really like to see that. The action here is nuts. I mean, what else can I say? They literally go to hell in this one, and we realize that this entire thing that's been going on has been a war between heaven and hell that's been going on for thousands of years, and you know, these humans are basically just being swept up in this, you know, grand cacophony, this absolutely ginormous whirlpool that they didn't even realize was going on. And it's just really, really great. Like, it's amazing how expansive this book and this series is for the amount of pages that there are in totality. These books are like 500 pages a piece. They're all under, you know, like 20 hours on audio. You can rip through this entire trilogy in less than a month. I guarantee it. I guarantee it that you could rip through this entire trilogy in less than a month. And yet, for all of that, like, it's really quite grand in its narrative. It's very expansive. It's very large. You know, there's a lot of moving elements, from politics to other worlds to interpersonal relationships, all being developed at the exact same time. And then the way it concludes is just wonderfully told. You know, it's definitely not going to be a series I can say is for absolutely everyone, because no series is. But if you like dark fantasy, if you like good storytelling, if you like characters who sometimes make morally ambiguous decisions that are kind of morally gray, if you like strong side characters and strong villains that you can absolutely come to loathe and hate, this is going to be for you. If you like great world building, if you're, you know, a fan of good prose, if you're just a fan of good storytelling, this is going to be for you. This is a strong recommendation for me. I think the characters are great. The action is wonderful. There's a great sense of humor throughout these books that made me laugh pretty hard quite a few times. The world building's really great, and I think the story is wrapped up really wonderfully, with just enough left over for you to be like, all right, but I want more from this world. I want more from these characters. And obviously, you know, Richard Swan intends to deliver that, because he has a whole new trilogy coming out in the same world a few hundred years after the fact. So really, what more can you ask for? It's just great dark fantasy. I'm going to give this one 8.8 out of 10. I think it wraps up the story really, really well. It's a great conclusion, and just a great Great series overall. Highly, highly recommend it.